Hey, welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to be sharing with you my spring rack for 2023. Before we get started, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you're excited to see what beautiful spring shades I picked out for this season. And if you're not already subscribed, I hope you'll consider it. This video is a collaboration between a lot of amazing nail polish YouTubers. I will link all of the participants down in the description box so you can check out their videos and see what pretty colors they picked out. That's one of my favorite things to do the day that all of our videos go live. I love checking out everyone's videos. It just puts me in the mood for spring even more. So if you're not familiar with this concept, basically a bunch of us and a lot of nail polish collectors put together seasonal racks. Basically we get some kind of nail rack or a basket or bucket or something and go through our collection and pick out some polishes that we would like to wear that coming season. So if you've watched my seasonal rack videos before, you know that I usually go for pretty big polish racks. Sometimes my nail polish racks have like 60, 70 polishes on them. And I do get around to a lot each season because I change my polish up every day, every couple days, but lately it's been like every 3 or 4 days. With a new baby, I'm just not having as much time to paint my nails, so I tried to be a little bit more realistic this time, and I narrowed it down to under 40 polishes. I think that's pretty good. I'll probably go through and add a few here and there throughout the season as I buy more things, as I notice more that I haven't worn in my collection and want to reach for, but I think wearing these 30-ish polishes this season is an attainable goal. And if you want to see what I've worn as I wear what I'm sharing with you today, I post monthly what I wore videos. I'll post my most recent one up in the card somewhere. But there I share pictures of the manicures that I've worn that month and my thoughts on them. I also post a lot of photos and videos of my manicures on Instagram and on shorts on YouTube now too. All right, that was a lot of talking. Let's go ahead and check out what polishes I picked out for my spring rack this season. So before we get into my spring rack, I did really quickly want to tell you what I have on my nails. So I am wearing Stella Chroma's August 2022 monthly mystery shade. If you didn't know, Stella Chroma does a monthly mystery subscription box. So every month you can get a mystery surprise polish delivered to your door. I love it because I love all of Pam's creations. But this one I especially love because I wouldn't have picked it out for myself. I don't know that I really have too many polishes with this base color, and it has multi-chrome flakes, which I usually shy away from, and just, I mean, somehow the combination works so beautifully. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. And in my intro, outro of this video, I'm wearing a polish from Garden Path Lacquers called Datura, I think. It was released in Hella Handmade Creations in May of 2021. So we're going to be taking a look at all of the shades I have on my rack. Like I said, about 40 colors in rainbow order because that's how I like to do things. I don't wear much red in the springtime. It's the only season I don't love wearing red polish, but I did try to put a little bit of red on my rack. So this one comes from Wildflower Lacquer and it's called Make It Rain. This one came out in the 2021 12 Days of Sparkles advent calendar with Nailed It, I believe. And it's got a jelly reddish orange base with a lot of gorgeous glass-like iridescent shifting flakes. I see shifts to blue, pink, green. It is dazzling. This one definitely has a jelly base. It's super squishy and juicy, but that also means it was pretty sheer on the nails. I'm hoping in 3 coats, which is what you see here, I won't have any visible nail line, but I may, so I might end up pairing this with a blurring base coat. From Bee's Knees Lacquer, another untried. Most of these are untried. I actually only have a couple, I think, that I've worn before. So when I get to those, I will definitely let you know that they're tried and true favorites. But this one, I've had my collection for at least a year. It's from Bee's Knees Lacquer. It's called Romajuliette. This one has a reddish orange, probably like an orange with red undertones, base with an intense, bright, crazy beautiful shimmer. It's just from gold to green, and I feel like I see a little bit of pink down in the corner as well. On the nail, this one looks actually a lot more corally than I was expecting. In the bottle, it looks to be a fiery orange, but I think because I swatched it on a white nail wheel, it really does have a softer feel to it, which I think makes it perfect for this time of year. I'm going to say that so many times this video, just a warning. Next is a tried and true favorite. I've worn this several times before. It comes from Cert Colors, and I think it's called Persica. It has a creamsicle-y base with these beautiful metallic crushed copper flakes. I think this is such a fun, almost neutral shade for spring because of course it has that speckled egg feel. I love speckled finish polishes. I've got quite a few of them on my rack, but this one has a wonderful formula. Even with the skinny brush that it comes with, I'm pretty sure at my old nail length I was able to get it fully opaque in 2 coats, but at my current nail length I will probably need 3. I've got one other orangey shade on my rack. This one's from China Glaze and it's called Tangerine Heat. It is a cream polish. I think it's a 2-coater based on my swatching, and yeah, it's a beautiful shade. This one could go for summer as well. I actually was watching Lyra Go Polished spring favorites videos from last year to kind of get some inspiration, and this was on there and it reminded me to pull this out because I don't think I ever wore this as a full manicure, and it's so beautiful. We've got another Cert Colors. This one is Buttercup. This released, I think, the year before last, but it could have been last year, and it is just a sweet, soft, buttery, light yellow. This is like the perfect yellow for spring, I think. It has a cream finish, and I think it was a 2-coater. That's why my jaw dropped when I saw Kelly Marissa swatch this when it released. I had to have it immediately. Usually I'll like save up my purchases for Cirque and wait for a bunch of things to release throughout the year and make one big purchase. This I had to get as soon as it launched. I can't believe I haven't worn it yet. And then the other yellow on my rack comes from Pahlish Polish, and it's called Be Our Guest. Be Our Guest, Be Our Guest. This one's inspired by Belle from Beauty and the Beast, which was one of my favorite Disney princesses growing up. And the fact that this is a unique yellow polish just made this one also a must-have for me. It has a beautiful bright yellow base. It's soft, but it's still got a lot of brightness to it. You can see compared to Buttercup, it's just a little bit brighter, a little bit more saturated. And it's got this glowing, vibrant red to copper shifting shimmer. Here's what polish looks like built up in 3 coats. This one's definitely going to be a 3-coater, but golly, it's going to be so worth it. I can't wait to wear this one. From Olive Ave Polish, we have Lyra. This one is a green with some serious yellow undertones. On my swatch wheel here, it looks more like a yellow, but it's definitely a green. So here's what it looks like built up in 2 coats. This one had a great formula on the swatch wheel. Disregard the little hair I got on there. But yeah, this one's so pretty, and I don't think I really have any shade like this in my collection. These really yellow leaning greens. Most of the greens I have are deeper or cooler. Another untried Olive Ave polish I'd like to wear this season is Sage. And the rubber band, that's what denotes that it's an untried polish, in case you were wondering. This one's a much cooler, smokier green with some glass shimmer. It's like a silvery shimmer. So here's what Sage looks like in 3 coats. This one, the shimmer didn't come through on the nail quite as much as I had hoped. It kind of just gives it a soft sheen, but I love this kind of base color. It reminds me of Lake from Zoya. I know I'm going to enjoy wearing this one. Another light green I'd like to wear comes from OPI, and it's called This Cost Me a Mint. This one I know is a very loved shade. I've never worn it. I can't wait to get it on my nails. It is a minty green cream. So I believe this is what it looks like in 2 coats. I'm not sure if this one's going to end up being a 2 or 3 coater for me. If it has an amazing formula and you've tried it before, let me know in the comments. It might bump it up on my list if it's a 2 coater instead of a 3 coater. I might have to wear it more soon than I anticipated. The next shade on my rack is one I just can't stop staring at. These gorgeous intense shimmers just like steal my heart. This one from Wildflower Lacquer is called Enchanted Spirits. This one released a couple years ago, and I think I destashed it or almost destashed it, and it ended up back in my life, and I'm so glad it did because I love greens now. The base color is so beautiful. It's like a grassy green, and the shimmer shifts copper to gold to green. I think this is it in 2 coats, and with a white base and not built up to 3 coats, it does look more aqua, but on the nail I do remember it being a beautiful green shade. But how glowy is that shimmer? Gosh, so beautiful. This one is another untried. We're getting into some aquas now. I have a lot of those on my rack. This one comes from Pahlish. I guess this one's a turquoise, not an aqua. I always get those kind of mixed up. From Pahlish, we've got Tangled Tinsel. This one released in 2017. Whew, that's a long time ago. I got this one in a mystery bag. It has a turquoisey base with some incredible iridescent pastel flakes. The base says summer to me, but the flakes say spring. I love the iridescence. It just reminds me of like a unicorn. So here's what 3 coats of Tangled Tinsel looks like. All of these, by the way, have a glossy top coat on top. I don't know about this one. I've had it on several racks and it looks gorgeous in the bottle, but somehow the iridescent flakies just don't translate quite as well on the nail. You can't see them as well as I'd like, and it is very sheer. This is 3 coats and I still see a little bit of the nail wheel showing through, so it may end up in the destash. We'll have to see. From China Glaze, we have For Audrey. This one is I would say a turquoise, but I think it's supposed to be like a Tiffany blue. It is a really, really pretty cream shade. So here's what For Audrey looks like in 2 coats. This one seemed to have an amazing almost 1 coat formula. I can't wait to wear it. These kind of turquoisey colors are some of my favorite to wear in the springtime. They just remind me of robin's eggs. And speaking of that, our next polish is inspired by that exactly. It comes from Rogue Lacquer and it's called Hatched. This one released a couple years ago in Polish Pickup. It's an untried as well. Same kind of color, turquoisey base with some copper metallic flakes. What an incredible, I can't even talk, I'm so excited. What a stunning combination. This one came out before I swatched for Rogue and I knew I had to have it. It's so cute with that base color and those copper flakes. But I'm realizing seeing this now, if I had the China Glaze at that time, if I had a copper flaky topper, I could have definitely recreated this mani on my own. So if you've got a copper flaky topper, any kind of metallic flaky topper, you could definitely create that combo yourself without having Hatched from Rogue. Up next is a Stella Chroma. This one is called Pom Poms. This released in the winter collection last year, but when it came in, I'd kind of already set up my winter rack and I knew I wouldn't have time to get around to it. And I thought it would lend itself beautifully to spring with those, again, pastel-y iridescent flakes. It's got a really soft icy blue base though, and lots of hollow sparkle. I'm not sure if they're glitters or flakes. They didn't dry with texture though. So here is what Pom Poms looks like in 3 coats. This one had a really soft feel to it. It feels very light and fluffy. I think the inspiration is perfect. I think it's inspired by like pom-poms that you have on the top of your winter hats. But again, I think just wonderful for spring. The next one is a rewear. This one comes from Swamp Gloss and it's called Maxwell. This one has like a very whited out aqua base with neon pink and navy blue glitters in a variety of sizes. You've probably noticed I mostly wear shimmers and creams in the springtime, but there are some brands that I can't with their glitter polishes, and Swamp Gloss is one of them. They make some incredible glitters. I believe at the time of editing this that their shop is open, so I will link this below if it's still available. I know she relaunched a bunch of shades, including the collection this came from, so I will check. Any polishes that I show you today that are still available, I will link below. Moving into the more aqua-y blues, this one comes from Ethereal Lacquer and it's called Cancer. When this released, I had to grab it because I grabbed all the polishes in my big 3 astrology wise, and I'm a Cancer moon, so I really wanted this one and I wanted to love it. I don't know if I'm going to. It is very, very sheer, which you can probably tell by the way it's moving in the bottle. The shimmer is gorgeous. It's like a red to copper to gold to green, but I don't know if I'm going to have the patience to see my nail line. I really am not a big fan of sheer polishes. So here's what it looks like in 3 coats. I'm going to try layering it with a blurring base coat, but I don't know that it's going to have the result I want. We'll just have to see. We've got another cream shade. I'm gonna have to do some Skittles with all of these gorgeous springy creams. This one comes from OPI and it's called To Infinity and Blue Wand. This one is what I would consider to be a sky blue cream. Wow, this one on the nail wheel had an incredible formula. I don't think I've ever heard anyone mention this polish. I don't remember when it came out. I don't remember it coming out at all. If you know, let me know down in the comments, but if this is still available and it really has that great of a formula on the nail, I might wear this polish a lot. I think it's a gorgeous color, and I think it was fully opaque in 3 coats, and it had kind of like a crelly feel, very easy to apply. And the last kind of aqua shade comes from MJ Lacquer, and it's called Baby Boy Blue. This one released last year. It's got a baby blue base and so many beautiful glitters and flakies. I see lots of sky blue hex glitters and then some shifting multi-chrome flakies and maybe iridescent too. Lots of different colors in here. This is another one that gave me kind of a robin egg feel to it. And I feel like this one is a justified purchase because of the creative combination of glitters and flakies. I know I could not make this look on my own with toppers. A cooler blue that I haven't worn yet is ILNP's Bluebird. This one is a soft, cool blue base with some brighter, more green leaning metallic blue crushed flakies. This was from the original ILNP Speckled collection a few years ago. I have a few other from this collection, the Pink Sunday and then the lighter blue, more warm leaning blue, Starling. And those are the only speckled ones I have from ILNP, but I'm considering getting some from this year's collection. I would just really love to see some comparisons between these older shades and the newer shades because they do look similar to me. If you have purchased any of those, let me know how you like them. From Zoya, our next shade is Emerson, and it is a, oh gosh, maybe like a very whited out periwinkle. I definitely feel like it's a blue, but it has some super cool undertones that make it seem purple. This had a wonderful formula, especially for a shade this light. I am, again, can't wait to wear this one. I've said that so many times too. I'm sorry, y'all. But it is a glorious shade and the formula seemed ridiculous. And our last shade that might fit into the blue family is from Shleee Polish and it's called Slumber Party. This one is definitely what I would consider to be a periwinkle shade. It's a little bit more saturated in person than it's coming off in camera. I'm not sure what compelled me to buy this. I have quite a few polishes from this brand, and if I'm being honest, I haven't been over the moon impressed. They just don't always have the best formula. I find that they pretty much always need 3 coats, and the brush is not my favorite. But I do want to give this a try. If it doesn't work for me, I will destash it. It is a really pretty color, but yeah, even on this nail wheel, I feel like I see some patchiness, and this is in 3 coats. Speaking of slumber parties, our next Nailed It nail polish is also called Slumber Party. I don't know how that happened. I did not do it on purpose, but I thought it was too funny when I was going through and looking at the names of all of these, especially when I put them in rainbow order. So this one is a beautiful, soft purple base. It's like a lavender, I guess, and it's got intense shifting shimmer from green to gold to blue. This is another one like Wildflower, Lacquer, Enchanted Spirits that just takes my breath away. When I look at this swatch wheel, I have a feeling I'm not going to want to wear it because I'm just going to want to save it for like a special day. But what I need to do is just wear it and enjoy it and love it. And then if I love it so much, wear it again later that season. So I might try to do that. I adore these shimmers. Nailed It does such a great job with their polishes. From Essie, this beautiful purple shade is called Gojinza. It's a really warm, light pastel purple. This one is another one that I've heard so many people talk about. It seemed to have an awesome formula, 2, maybe 3 coats, and just with that wide flat brush applied like a dream. One I'd like to rewear this season comes from Zoya, and it's called Haruko. Haruko, I haven't worn for a couple years. I saw it on my rack and I had to get it on my nails again. It's got a really pretty pinky purple base and shimmer that shifts pink to purple too. So here's what Haruko looks like in 3 coats on the nail wheel. It looks a lot more saturated next to these lighter, more white pastel shades, but it is still a really soft, light, springy purple. Oh, man, I just love the shimmer in here. Our next shade is from OPI. This one maybe I should have put with the pinks, and it's called Hollywood and Vibe. It's another cream shade. I hope y'all love creams. Otherwise, you're going to be like, what in the world, Rachel? I find that I wear creams the most in the springtime. I'm just really drawn to them for some reason. Those pastel colors to me look so good in a cream finish. This one I think is going to be my next pedicure. It's like a purple leaning pink cream. It had a great formula, shocker. OPI does pinks really well, especially this kind of shade. I feel like they've done it a million times because they're just really good at it. And this one was a 2-coater. It was really easy to put on. This next beautiful sparkly shade is from Ethereal Lacquer, and it's called Young and Beautiful. It has like a purple base, and it is jam-packed with holographic flakes. Sometimes polishes with these holographic flakes can look a little bit flat, and that's what I'm seeing in this one. It just looks not quite as dazzling as it does in the bottle. I think I'm going to add a glitter smoother and then put a glossy top coat, even though it is not textured at all. I just think that glitter smoother sometimes gives polishes like this a little bit more plumpness and makes them shine even brighter in the sun. Here's another one I can't stop staring at on my swatch wheel. It is like what all of my unicorn dreams are made of. It is called Pahlish Blackberry Ice. This one came out in last year's spring collection, I think, and it is a really soft purple with this red to copper to gold shifting shimmer and hollow flakes. This is basically my favorite polish finish, and honestly, I'm surprised I don't have more of it on my rack. What? Is this the only shifting shimmer with hollow flakes? Oh my goodness, what am I doing? I'm going to be adding more of those, I can already tell. I was surprised with how sheer this one was though. This is what it looks like in 3 coats. I feel like I still see some nail wheels showing through, so it might need to be paired with a blurring base coat. Regardless, gorgeous, gorgeous color. The glow is intense, you all. So pretty. The next shade from Sinful Colors is called Tempest. Tempest is like a bright purple cream. I'm just going to keep it simple. That's what it is. I think I got this one because I've heard Some Call Me Coco talk about it a lot. I love her channel. It had a good formula. I think it was fully opaque in 2 coats, but it might have needed 3. And yeah, just a really beautiful color. I love purples like these, and I didn't have any cream in this color, so had to have it. This one is a recent release from Orally. It is called Check Yes or No. This one I have swatched, but I haven't worn it as a full manicure, and it is a beautiful pink leaning purple cream, I would say. The formula for this was outstanding. I got it opaque in 2 coats, I believe, and I ended up doing a little comparison post, a reel of some other creams that were comparable to this on my Instagram. If you all would be interested in seeing me review Orally here on my channel, let me know. I feel like YouTube is saturated with Orally reviews, and like, does anyone really need mine? Because honestly, with the baby, it takes me a while. But if it's something that you all would be interested in seeing from me, let me know. I did get this collection from Orally and PR, and it was a beautiful collection. This one from Orally is called Meet Cute, and it is a pinky corally kind of shade. I think this one was fully opaque in 2 coats as well, although I might want 3 on the nails just to add some more plumpness, but how pretty. Ooh, look at this. I see maybe a Skittle in my future. Those colors are beautiful together. But yeah, this one had a great formula. Another one I swatched, but I want to wear it as a full manicure. This light pink shade from Static Nails is called Milkshake. This one is an almost white shade with just a little bit of pink, and I think Mediocre Manny's is the one who convinced me to grab this. These are expensive, y'all. This tiny little bottle, it's 12 milliliters, is $16. I'm pretty sure I got it with some kind of code or it was on sale or something. But I was like, for this price, this better have a good formula. Luckily it did. This one was beautiful in 2 coats, very smooth and even, but I think I'm probably going to want 3 coats on my nails just to make sure there's zero patchiness, but it couldn't have been easier to apply. The brush was beautiful. Would I pay $16 for it? Heck no, but I do pick up Static Nails whenever I see them in a D-stash or on sales because I've been really pleased with the formula. A spring favorite of mine, one that I'll be hopefully re-wearing this year, comes from Zoya, and it's called Jordan. This is a classic Zoya shade. I feel like everybody has and loves the shade, or everybody that has this shade loves it. There we go. It reminds me of like strawberry milkshakes. It is a light, beautiful bubblegum pink. Wonderful formula on this one. It was fully opaque in 2 coats, and yeah, just a really flattering cool toned pink. I love how that one looks on me. This next shade comes from Addictive Cosmetics. This one is a, I would say, pearl shade. Ooh. It is a nudie pink base, and it's got shimmer that shifts red to purple, pink to purple, in a pearly finish. Now you're probably saying, Rachel, why is there a pearl on your rack? You don't like pearl. And you're right, I don't. This one was gifted to me by my dear sister. And when I unboxed it, I was like, oh, thank you. I'm not sure about this one, but I was so shocked because once I got this on the nail wheel, I don't think it looks pearly at all. It's not brush strokey. It's very smooth and shiny, and I really, really like the looks of it. I think I'm going to enjoy wearing it a lot. This next Essie Gel Couture shade, I love these bottles, by the way. I could just like spin them all day. This one is called Slip Dress. It's a sheer jelly warm toned pink. Not the most exciting shade maybe, but I do love a sheer jelly polish for layering things, and then also just for a base for toppers. I find myself using a sheer polish with a really fun topper as a manicure, not as often recently, but pretty regularly otherwise. Man, I can't talk. And the reason I put this on my rack is because I would like, well, it's untried, but I'd also like to create the lip gloss nails trend, which is kind of a silly trend. It's just basically really shiny nude sheer nails. But I saw someone create them with a shimmer layered underneath. So I put Zoya Leia near my rack. And I thought I would put 2 coats of Zoya Leia and 2 or 3 coats of Essie Slip Dress together and see how it looks. And here's what it looks like, I think, with 1 coat of Zoya Leia and 2 coats of Essie Slip Dress. I really think it's pretty. So yeah, I might be wearing that one that way. 2 more. This one's from KB Shimmer, and it's called That's Nude to Me. It's an untried that Carolina from Gotaluvpolish convinced me to get. In the bottle, it looks like a peachy linear holographic nude shade. On the nail wheel, it looks a little bit more truly nude and less peachy. I don't know if I'm going to love it on me. I have my doubts, but it is a pretty soft shade. I thought this one, you know, you could wear it any time of year, but I thought if I love it anytime, I think I'll love it in the springtime. So I'm going to give it a shot. And the final shade on my rack this season, if you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. But this shade is from Starly, and it's called Bean Toes, which is the cutest name ever. It has a white base and shimmer that shifts pink to purple. Y'all know I love a good shifty shimmer. You know I love pink, so this polish I had to put on my rack. And it's another one, honestly, any time of year. I could wear it any time of year. But just something about the softness of the base, it's not quite a stark white, and that pink to purple shift made me want to wear it this spring. So those are all the polishes that I have on my spring rack for this season. Let me know down in the comments, are you now motivated to reach for any of these shades in your own collection? Do they remind you of something that you love? All the polishes that are available, I will link down in the description box so you can shop them if you like them. Did this motivate you to shop for any of them? I want to know everything. Leave it in the comments. Again, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye, happy spring.